As a new coronavirus spreads around the world, something else has been spreading also: xenophobia, the fear or hatred of foreigners. Now, recently, Andrew spoke with Deutsche Welle East Asia correspondent William Young about what people in Taiwan are saying on social media about China.
Oftentimes what we see, it's like if it's a report about how the Chinese government has not been really revealing the full extent of the epidemic, then a lot of the people would immediately project the stereotype that they have about the Chinese government and say, see, this is all because of what the Chinese government has always been functioning, like dictating and being arbitrary, controlling all the flow of the information. That's why the epidemic happens. And there are some extreme examples that I've actually seen online where people are clearly frustrated about the Chinese government blocking Taiwan from joining the WHO meetings. And so they are saying how the whole epidemic spreading across China right now is the karma that the Chinese people had to endure because of its government's evil treatment of Taiwan. And I think those are the extreme examples of how a discussion about China often goes the more extreme direction in Taiwan, especially when it comes to something that's negatively impacting China, and then also that originates from China, but it's probably going to have a potentially very negative impact on the world. And they consider that as it's all like China is all, it's all China's fault, and then like these people deserve it and things like that. So
do you think this is indicative of what the average person in Taiwan thinks, or is this something that's just fueled by kind of the internet being what it is, the medium itself?
I would love to think that it's more like being hyped up by the internet and also the so-called echo chamber that we're seeing over here, especially we're just after another election, and then we're actually seeing also the political atmosphere here in Taiwan are sometimes influencing how the society is responding to things related to China. Because we also know that the government right now is standing very firm and highlighting, re-emphasizing many times about how Taiwan is being bullied by China. Maybe that also plays a little role in terms of how people perceive the role of China and what's happening over there.
Actually, what's interesting is a lot of people from Wuhan are actually facing discrimination in other parts of China, in much the same way that Chinese people are facing discrimination from other countries in Asia, and Asians in general are facing discrimination in the rest of the world.
I think there's just a lot of fear and anxiety that's at the root of all of this. And people, turn that fear into anger or looking for someone to blame. I think, it is one thing to blame or to look at the people who are in charge and if they're handling it well. But it's another thing to blame a whole country of people who are victims as well.